Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
Yes.
And somebody who, near and dear to my heart is with me too. Melissa Butler is here, and you know her from the Lip Bar. I feel like she's a celebrity.
I am not a celebrity.
Yes,
but
you
I'm
are.
so excited to be here.
Listen, I'm excited to have you. She actually is only here for like a day, and she was like, "Hey, I'm in New York." I said, "Do you want to stop by the show?"
And I'm like, "For sure. What's up?"
So I'm glad that you were able to make it. And I always assume that everybody knows your story, so I know that's not necessarily true. So I just want to make sure if I ask you a couple of questions just for backstory for anybody that may not know the Melissa Butler story and the Lip Bar story, because you own the Lip Bar. When did you found the Lip Bar?
So I started the Lip Bar. We launched in 2012. Me literally making lipstick in my kitchen.
Right.
I was working on Wall Street, which is so wild to say that it felt like a dead end job because everybody is like, "This is the American dream," and that's what I thought I was living. But I just hated it, and I also hated like traditional beauty standards, and that's what made me say like, I'm gonna start making lipstick in my kitchen, knowing I didn't know what I was doing.
And if people would have told you, or if you would have asked people, they would tell you that is such an oversaturated market. It's really hard to stand out in that space. Yep. What made you think that this could actually be something?
And honestly, it's still true. It's still a oversaturated space, and it's really hard to stand out. But I think that if you can connect with your customer, whoever that customer is, there's always room. And so I felt like nobody was actually talking to the customer in the way that I wanted to talk to the customer. So of course, room is going to open up for you. You just have to have that confidence. And when you are first starting a business, honestly, you're stupid. Like, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
You're so naive. So
Nothing
you're
to
willing.
lose.
Yeah, you're willing to try everything. But to that point, I'm so much more risk averse right now because I have so much to lose.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to answer to and by the way, I mean, not to stunt on nobody or nothing, but she has the largest Black-owned beauty brand in Target.
You were telling me that.
Yeah. Which is such a huge deal.
That's a big deal.
But it also, like you said, means that now you're like, man, I got to be kind of cautious because you have this huge brand and your face and name is so attached to it also.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's a hard thing. I know for Jasmine, having the JasmineBrand.com was difficult for you too, having your name on there. She used to tell me if I could have changed the name of it, I would. I didn't know it was going to get
I still would.
that big.
If I would have changed the Lip Bar name like I thought about 700 times early on, like I would have. If I could go back and do that, I absolutely would.
Really?
And I probably wouldn't be the face.
Yeah, same.
But it's like, let's say I ain't got to pay myself, to be the face.
Seriously. It's hard being the face because basically it's one of those things where like people want you to always be the model. Well, I can't be the model and like the brains. Like brains
the
and beauty,
and
that's overrated. I actually should have probably not been the face or gotten a partner where I could have been the face. But you don't know anything. Everything, hindsight is 20/20. So it's like right now I'm super grateful for everything that I've been able to achieve. But like when I talk to entrepreneurs, I'm like, okay, choose your own path, but these are some of my mistakes.
All right, so tell us some of them.
I mean, honestly, like not being focused enough. Like I think that's the number one mistake all entrepreneurs make. It's like you want to see the world, you want to do it all, but you cannot do it all at one time.
So that was a mistake that you made?
Absolutely.
How so?
It's a mistake that I still make.
Okay.
Like I'm a full plate person. Like like when you at like the buffet and you put everything on the plate instead of like going back, eating what you're gonna eat, going back and getting seconds. No, I fill up that plate to
Take
capacity.
2 plates.
Yeah. Knowing I'm not gonna eat it all, knowing I don't have capacity to eat it all. And I think that's how I treat my business too. But it's because I'm hungry and I'm eager and I'm excited and I want to do it all. But like that's a mistake.
Yeah, and see, because I looked at you as a person who the growth seemed like very organic. The way that you grew your business. Well,
it was because we didn't have no money.
Yeah, because you actually have a flagship store in Detroit. And when I'm in Detroit, and we got to go there, we just got a building in Detroit, so we're going to be there a lot more as we're working on that.
We're excited about that.
And I saw that you even had like Michelle Obama And also Dr. Joe Biden.
Yep. So she came to the store, her and her granddaughter, and they like were legit shopping. Like Dr. Joe Biden was so sweet. We worked on a partnership to register people to vote, and so our number one bestseller in the whole company is a red lipstick. It's called Boss Lady, and it's because it works on every single complexion. And so her team from when we all vote, they all reached out and was like, we want to change this to Boss Voter, and like we're gonna get Michelle to wear it. And it was so epic. It's still like one of my favorite memories.
And the other thing that you did that I love, these billboards that you guys put up.
I love those.
And you know,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because it's right near my house in Detroit. But there was this huge billboard, and basically Shark Tank told you to quit. Everybody knows the story, Mr. Wonderful. That made so many people mad.
Yes.
But what I think about that moment from Shark Tank is that it made a lot of people side with you.
Yes.
Right. It might have been different if he would have been like, "This is great. We want to invest."
I agree. We all had a common enemy. It was like, wait, it was like, you can't talk to her like that.
Yeah.
People didn't even know me, and they were just like coming out of the woodwork supporting me and showing up. And it is probably the number one thing that people ask me about. So when we turned 10, I was like, I want to be a little petty because like being like a 10-year-old business is a really big deal. Like less than 20% of all businesses that start make it to 10 years, you know, make $10 million. And like we had achieved both of those things by the time we were 10. And I was like, this is a big deal. I need to celebrate it. and like my community, like that Shark Tank moment made so many people upset.
For people that didn't see that Shark Tank moment, can you kind of briefly explain what happened and how you were turned down?
This was early on in the business. I think maybe like 2014, 2015. We went on the show really because we wanted to get marketing, but they were so cruel to us. Yeah. Like they complimented our dresses, said we shouldn't be in the beauty industry. Instead, we should like be in fashion. Like just kind of really insulting, honestly. Then they called us colorful cockroaches, and that's when all hell broke loose.
Right.
Yep.
They were like, no, don't do that. And so we ended up putting up billboards in our top markets, probably like, I don't know, like a 70 billboard campaign or something like that. And it said 10 years later, 10 million units sold or whatever it said, like, thanks, Mr. Wonderful.
Right. 10 years later, 2 million units, I think it said. Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, and it was, people loved it. And so everybody thinks that, like, billboards are, like, kind of dead. But it's like so many people were posting it. So it was such a magical moment.
So many people. Yeah. And, you know, when we had Mr. Wonderful on The Breakfast Club, I definitely asked him about it.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And what did he say? What did he say, Angela?
He was just like, you know, congrats. What can you say?
Yeah. I messed up. I made the wrong decision.
I don't even know if he said I messed up, but
no, I was saying that's what you could say.
He said he was happy for your success.
So here's the thing: my boyfriend actually is around Mark Cuban sometimes, and one day they're together, and he just FaceTimes me with him. I'm looking like a maniac. I look insane, so ugly. Like I probably had on a scarf. I'm like, don't just FaceTime me with Mark Cuban. And he's like, remember her? And Mark is like, congratulations, I'm proud of you.
Okay.
So like it's been like a full circle moment.
Right.
Yeah, but I also feel like that's a great lesson because some people could have been like, after that, I'm not doing this anymore.
You got to feel defeated after that. Or not have to, but I feel like a natural feeling.
A person could do that, but what that did for you was really kind of catapult you more.
Yeah, and I think I did feel defeated in that moment, but I think it's like, what do you do after that feeling? Like, do you stay in that feeling? Do you sulk in it and just be like, oh, woe is me? Or do you use that and then keep going? The reality is they actually gave me some good advice when I went on Shark Tank.
Right, I was going to ask you that. Do you feel like any of the advice that they gave was helpful?
So we were there probably recording for, let's say, like an hour, but you only see like 8 or 10 minutes on the show.
Right.
But like Mark Cuban was like, you need to be the face of the brand. At that point, I was not the face of the brand.
Okay.
And honestly, it wasn't until I started putting myself out there that the brand really blew up.
Okay.
So like they had some valid points.
Yeah, so that's good. It was useful. And then I think if you would have went there, you would have gave up part of the company. Now, that's another thing that's hard for people. As you're trying to grow and expand your business, right, do you look for investors and then what do you give up? So how difficult is something like that when it comes to you? Because this is your baby that you started in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's a good question because a lot of entrepreneurs are like, I need money, I need investors. So the first thing I'll say is like, you don't always need money. Money is not the most important thing. You have to make sure that you have a sound business, that you'll have repeat customers, because like money isn't charity. So like if somebody is investing in you, they expect a return. Right. So how can you make sure that they're getting a return? So like I just challenge entrepreneurs to think about that first. But then beyond that, it's like within the investment world, like there are two very important things. The first thing is called valuation. The second thing is called multiples. So like what is the value of your company? And that is going to depend on whatever multiple they assign to your business. So that could be a multiple on revenue. Let's say, just for easy math, I make $1 million this year. They could say, well, the Lip Bar is worth $3 million. And that means that they're assigning me a multiple of 3.
Because you always see people saying the valuation is $25 million. That don't mean you have $25 million.
No, and it doesn't mean that you made $25 million. Right. Valuation could be $25 million and you've only made $5 million. But they've assigned you a multiple of 5, which means that they think you're going to get big growth. So how much you give up, honestly, just depends on how much you think that money is going to help you grow. Like, if you take that investment, how do you think that post-investment you'll be able to make sure that your company is worth whatever, more than that multiple that they assigned you?
Okay.
Like, if they invest $5 million and I'm giving up 20% of my company, like, how can I make sure that that investment is worthwhile? I need that my company post-investment to be worth $40 million, because you don't want to lose all your equity.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Like, equity is key.
Your time on Wall Street also really helped you with the business.
For sure. I mean, numbers can be scary, and so many people like start business because they're interested in the marketing or the creative or the product, and like that is exciting. But ultimately, like, either you have to be an operator and you know the numbers, or you have to find somebody else to do it. Right. But you can't be afraid of the numbers. So Wall Street gave me confidence in numbers, which was great.
You know what's hard too? I find this from, having my own business, asking.
First of all, you have a million businesses.
You do. How many do you have? 4?
Look, I have Coffee Uplifts People, that, and then, the shop also. Then the hair store in Detroit, private label, Drink Fresh Juice.
That's 4.
Yeah. So
are we missing something?
The real estate businesses.
Okay, that's fine.
But one thing that's always been really hard for me, and I've talked to other people too, especially like my other friend, she has her own wine company. She's a Black woman also, is also going to people when you're trying to raise money and asking them to invest. Mm-hmm. That's a really hard and scary thing. How was that for you?
It is hard and scary because you have to be vulnerable and you have to be okay with rejection. So I think even if I'm confident, I still get that little drip of sweat at the center of my back because, like, you are opening yourself up to criticism. Mm-hmm. Because, like, if somebody is going to invest in you, they're going to, like, look under the rug. They're going to peel back the layers and figure out what they're actually investing in. And you kind of... It puts you in a position of feeling like you need something from someone. But I would challenge people to try to flip it and say, what I am offering is valuable. So, like, don't think about it as, like, this person is doing something for me. Think about it like, I'm also going to do something for this person because this is going to be a viable and a valuable investment for them. So it's like, if you just go into it with confidence, like, this is also going to benefit them, I think you will be in a more comfortable situation.
This is a great opportunity for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Turn it around. Who taught you some of your strategies with, in spaces like that?
Honestly, I think it's just like watching the white boys. Mm-hmm. Like, they go into it so confident. They're like, look, I wrote this idea down on this piece of paper and it's gonna be worth $1 billion.
And sometimes that's all they have to do. We have to put together a whole pitch deck, put our own money in,
they be failing up
show
sometimes,
proof of concept.
So, definitely.
And they can afford to fail too.
Yeah.
Because that sometimes I feel like, like Eminem says, you get one shot,
right?
And that could be it. Because if you put your all into something financially, that's also a scary thing. And some people are able to use other people's money to be able to get their business off the ground. What was that like for you, investing in yourself?
Yeah, I mean, because most like people of color don't have like friends and family money.
Right.
You can't just call up your mama or your auntie and be like, can I borrow $20,000.
Right.
Like, remember when Trump said, like, he got a small loan?
Yes.
I was like,
stop it.
That's life-changing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I honestly have people that consult for us, and they're white, and they don't understand why you can't just, like,
Ask
why
your
don't you
mom.
just call your friend and,
Yeah.
get some money? And
Well, even with us, with this investment,
Yeah.
there aren't a lot of friends that you have, and vice versa, that are
that
able
could-
to do this.
investing in this property,
Yeah.
it wasn't a lot of people I could think of that I could be like, hey, I want to get this building. Who wants to put up some money?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's
we,
not
we're
easy.
not talking about a few $100s.
Yeah.
Right.
And I invested a lot of my,
did.
of my own money into it. But for you, financially, how were you when you had to invest in yourself? And at what point did you say, okay, now it's time to grow the business?
So I started the Lip Bar with my personal savings. Like, I just sacrificed. I was like, all right, I'm not doing brunch on the weekends. I'm not shopping at Zara, like all the things. And I saved up what I thought would be like a year's worth of savings. It
And
only
what was
lasted
that?
6 months.
What was that?
I think it was like $30,000.
Okay. And it only lasted 6 months.
It only lasted
Wow.
6 months. And at that point, it was like, and I was living in New York at the time.
Which is expensive.
Yeah, that lasted about a month.
Right,
Na-
exactly.
Nowadays, yeah.
And I was just like, okay, well, what do I do? And I think that it put me in such a tough position that I was like, you just gonna figure it out. You have to just
Back
keep
against the
going.
wall strategy. Sometimes
Yeah.
you got to put your back against the wall so you could fight your way out.
And I was just like blind emailing people. Like, when we launched in Target, like today we're the largest Black-owned makeup company in Target, but we launched in Target off of a blind email.
Oh, wow.
Like, literally me just emailing a buyer. So, like, sometimes when your back is against the wall, you get the most creative.
Right, because you're like,
again, you
there's
have
nothing
nothing
to
to
put
lose.
myself out there.
Right.
That's how we actually got in Whole Foods with the coffee. It was through LinkedIn and a blind, message, and then sending the product, and then they
Yeah.
liked it and put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's as simple as that. But, like, people are so afraid to just take the risk or take the step. So, yeah, I took the risk with the money, and I was like, well, I mean, I have a degree. What's the worst that can happen? If I lose all the money, like, I'm sure I can get another job.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was the goal.
And that's right. That's the worst that can happen.
Yeah.
And then you've been expanding. So let's talk about what else you're doing in the space of skincare.
Yeah, we just launched skincare, which is kind of crazy because, like, the company is now 11 years old. And, like, for the first, 7 years, we actually only had lipstick.
Right.
And then, like, we very aggressively expanded to, like, tinted moisturizer. And
Which I love.
concealer.
The tinted moisturizer is my daily go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if
Aw.
I don't have to put on makeup like that, I just put a little tinted moisturizer on. It gives it a nice glow. And you guys have the
The
what is-
blush?
Yeah. No. The glow.
Oh, the skin glow.
Oh, I've seen
the
that in
skin
your
glow.
bathroom. actually have, this is Lip Bar.
Okay.
Yeah, right
That's,
Me too.
Prom queen.
now. Okay.
She
Yeah,
can look at
yeah,
you
yeah.
and tell. Yes, but even that skin glow, that alone, just putting that with the tinted moisturizer and putting that on my face,
That's the
all you
cheat
need.
code right there.
Yeah.
Mixing them together, and you just look like healthy glow, like you just finished running.
Got
or
off a
something.
beach.
Yeah. But we so aggressively expanded, but that goes back to my point of not focusing. I was like, okay, we only have lip. We need to have more, and I launched like 100 products within like 2 years.
Sheesh.
Oh.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
That's insane.
So what ended up happening once you did that?
I mean, it helped, but like you have to do like SKU rationalization. So if you have a product intensive business, like color cosmetics is so different from skincare because like skincare, you can have like 4 products and that can be the whole business.
Yeah.
With color cosmetics, you have to have all the foundation colors, all the lip colors, all the gloss colors. So it put us in a position where people could buy more from us, but also it put us in a position where we had to buy more inventory.
Yeah, and you have to have it available, and then you have to see what works because some things won't.
And then get rid of stuff over time. And so I started being more intentional about like, okay, let's just ask the customers. What do they want? Like, what do they need from us? And skincare kept coming up.
Yeah.
They're like, we want something that's gentle, that's easy, like that we don't have to think about. Because, like, a couple years ago, people were doing these, like, 10-step skincare routines.
That's too much.
Who has time for that?
Because I actually have tried to like buy some kits, and I think there's one, I use it one time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is too much work.
It's
you
too
gotta
much
mix this
work.
together with this, wait till this bubble up, and then I'm like, this is too
And
much.
people like us have to remove our makeup every day, so we have to take care of our skin, and nobody has time. And the average person doesn't have time to do a bunch of steps
Or
before they go
money.
to bed.
Yeah.
Who
or-
wanna spend all that
Let's
money?
start with money. Yeah.
So we were just listening to our customers, and it really came from like our liquid mats because they stay on all day. And they were like, we want makeup remover. We want makeup remover and a face wash. And that's kind of how it started. So we launched 4 skincare products. They're also on Target and on our website. And like people are loving them because it's just like you don't have to think about it.
Right.
It's just easy. It just works.
And that's how the makeup is too. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's something that like, and I like to watch your tutorials when you're like doing, because I don't know how to do my own makeup like that either. That's why I said it's so easy for me to use a tinted moisturizer, mix it with the Skin Glow, and then that's it. And then maybe put a little extra glow right here and good to go. Yeah.
I am not a makeup artist. Like a lot of makeup brands, like I respect them. I love them. I love the artistry. Like brands start because people are makeup artists.
Yeah, they do.
I am not a makeup artist. I'm like the everyday girl who wants to spend 5 minutes on her face. Like I don't have time for that. So I was like, I can evolve this brand for people who are like me, people who are booked and busy and brunching and want to look good but don't want to invest so much time, because the reality is makeup isn't important. Like in real life,
right?
Like it's fun.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah,
but
it makes me feel confident.
Yeah, it does.
It gives you confidence.
Because the worst is when the other day somebody said, "Can I take a picture?" I was like,
Because you just left the house.
Makeup.
Yeah,
that's
but
what
like
sunglasses are
you
for.
don't want to spend like an hour on your makeup. Why?
And you don't want to spend a bunch of money either.
No.
Yeah.
So we are like creating like very affordable, easy solutions for like the everyday woman.
And it's nice because we all shop in Target. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to go there and see, like, and I saw you posted the video with the shelves of your products inside Target. I mean, that's
amazing.
Thank you. Like, we've never seen, like, a Black-owned makeup brand take up so much space in Target.
Because I remember coming up, like, when we had to buy makeup, it was... You know, certain brands were all in the stores, and that's what you could get. I'm not going to name them, but they weren't for us. So, yeah.
So we have 2 brands that are in Target now. Mm-hmm. So it's Thread, which is brand new. Mm-hmm. It's only a year old. That one is like very Gen Z. It's men who make up, girl next door. It's like for the people who are really self-expressive with makeup.
Okay.
And then the lip bar. So between the brands, we take up a lot of space.
I love it.
It made me cry as soon as I saw it.
That's what I get. She's so little, but she take up a lot of space.
I know, that's right. Well, I have a question for you. You've been in the business, 10 plus years. Mm-hmm. What's the biggest change you've noticed in terms of this industry since you started? Has it been a change?
Yeah, I think it's become more diverse. Like, I think since 2020, everybody is thinking about, like, how do they show up for this multicultural customer? How do they get the Black dollar? Some people did it very, like, you know, performance.
Yeah, performative,
which really sucks. But a lot of people, like, it was true. Like, sometimes, like, you shine a light and people, like, understand their ways and they're like, okay, we're going to change. And then some people are just like, okay, how do we not get canceled?
Right.
So you saw a bit of both.
Right.
I do think that the industry is way more diverse than it was before.
Now, where do you see yourself? This has happened in the past, you know, like you said, it's been, 11 years. Mm-hmm. Where do you see yourself, like, say, in 5 years from now?
Honestly, in 5 years, I better be on a beach or like in my garden picking avocado off of my trees. Like, I'm moving to the Caribbean, and y'all ain't gonna see me.
Well, listen,
good for you. Sounds like fun.
I was in St. Martin. Right?
Yes.
And the owner of Lottery Farm, shout out to him, he was like, I just love
I was with you.
Yeah.
And you called her, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, like, it doesn't matter where you are, people are like, Melissa from the Lip Bar, we want to deal with her. I do think, like you said, some of the best advice was for you to be the face of your product because people do connect to you. And they love you.
It's so sweet, but what's crazy is I'm such a private person.
Right.
So, like, I don't even post on social media nearly as much as I should. I might post, like, once a month, which is so stupid, honestly. But I just be in my little corner of the room. And when people notice me, like, I am still so flattered anytime somebody comes up to me, like, wait, you're the Lip Bar girl. I'm like, I'm Melissa. What's your name? Like, flying here today, the flight attendants were like, Melissa, we love your products. I'm like, oh my God.
And they also know your name, though, because they see it on the thing. They're like, oh, Melissa Butler's coming on here.
Right, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, they do that to you.
They know you coming, girl.
So it's been, like, a really incredible journey, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, honestly, I wouldn't change any part of it because, like, I've learned from it. Mm-hmm. The entire thing. Even, like, all the mistakes, and it's been a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, the mistakes is like education. Well, I appreciate you for coming because, like we said, Melissa, is not often that you have any time at all. I know you're only here for a day, but honestly, like when you come up here and grace us with your presence, it means a lot to me. Just because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs who admire you, look up to you, and are going to see this and also learn a lot just from the things that you told us today. So.
Yeah, I'm always willing to share. Like if I had people who was educating me early, like I would be so much further. Right. So like if I can ever do anything to help, I'm down. So thank you for having me.
All right, you guys, check it out. The Red Beauty and the Lip Bar is way up with Angela Yee, Melissa Butler.